What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, bringing you another pouch video, this time the Tough Stuff Gear pocket pouch. As always, I'll give kind of an overview of the pouch as well as dimensions wherever possible, and then show the kind of sample loadout. This one's a little bit unique in that it's not really a sample loadout. This is actually exactly what I carried a couple days ago. I knew I was going to be making a video on it, so I figured I'll just leave it packed and show you what I put inside, but like to include gear so you have a general idea of what type of things fit in the different pockets, because sometimes visualizing, gear that you recognize in the pocket is a little bit easier to visualize size than just dimensions, because you don't necessarily know the dimensions off the top of your head, but obviously I will give the dimensions as well. So let's dive in here. This pouch is going to run you about $40 depending on the material, so you might get about $45, but most of them are in that range, $40, $45. I have this nice charcoal with the blue highlights, and this is the pouch that's currently available on the website. Once this sells out, I would imagine he's going to switch to some different materials and different colorways, and so there's a bunch you'll see that are currently sold out, but this one, as the time recording, is still available for $40. Now, on the outside, the first front panel is an entire Velcro panel. This pouch closed is about 4 inches wide by 5 inches tall, and I believe they're handmade, so you might get slight variations, but it's going to be pretty close to that. As far as the patches go on here, we have this Modern and Geek up top left, NAFs on the top right, 2 Data Crew, a JRW gear, and Hobo Tactical. I'll put links to all of their sites down in the description below, as well as all the gear and the pouch itself. Now on the back side, you have just kind of a more plain, you have their tag, which is really cool. It looks like a polar bear, although that might just because it's white. It might just be a regular bear, but with some crossbones. Really cool logo for them. And you have a slip pocket in the back. And this slip pocket's the entire width, so 4 inches, and just a hair over 3 inches tall. And so in there right now, I have a pack of Leatherman bits. Now I don't actually have a Leatherman in here, but these bits do fit in standard 1/4 inch sockets for the most part. And so have a pack of Leatherman bits there. Nothing else right now, but you can utilize that space for more. Now this pouch, I have loaded out a little bit thicker than I typically load out pouches, but still closes really comfortably. You can see it's probably about 1.5 inches to 2 inches wide at its current loadout, but probably about 3/4 of an inch thick unloaded. So that's it on the outside in terms of organization, but you do have this nice YKK zipper with this rubber zipper pull, although you of course can clip that off and put whatever you want, but it is color matched to that zipper and the seams here. So really smooth, again, YKK, so I'm not gonna have anything to complain about there. And I'll go left to right on the internals of this pouch. Now you can see a lot of different organization options and something a little bit unique. They both have this kind of lower section that you can put either gear that's not in the elastic straps, or if you have longer items, you can put it directly into that bottom pocket. And on the left hand side, that's actually divided right here, so it makes a nice spot for a pen. This is going to be a really thin section where you're not going to be able to put a lot of wider items, but I do have a pen there and that fits really nicely, and so it keeps it kind of contained from the rest of the pocket. But of course, if you have a shorter item, you're not going to have to worry about that. And so, like I said, I'll go left to right and then I'll give dimensions at the end. So this is the ratcheting extension for the Leatherman bit kit, and this does come with the Leatherman bit kit if you buy it like that. And again, even though I don't have a Leatherman, it will work in standard 1/4 inch sockets, and it also converts to a standard 1/4 inch slot right there. And so that's a nice thing. Next to that, I have a Civivi, I believe this is called the Tack and Tweeze. This was a Bob Trezzola design, and it's a slide out tweezers, really cool. Really comes to a fine tip there. And it's in an antique looking brass that looks really nice, slides really smoothly. You can put it on a keychain, although it does come with this nice leather slip from Civivi. And so really like these tweezers, and they fit nicely in that middle slot. So did keep them in that sheath just because it makes them a little bit wider, and so since the slot's a little bit wider, had I not done that, it would have slid around a little bit, not too big of a deal, but did decide to keep it in the sheath there. Now right next to that, I have a pocket pen. Now this is their aluminum case with their keychain attachment. Inside is just a standard orange pocket pen, but has a little bit of a tougher exterior, looks a little bit better, and can attach to a keychain unlike the original pocket pen. And so just kind of a nice upgrade there. It fits well in that pocket. You can see there was room to spare, but nice and snug in there. Now in the bottom here, I have something a little bit unique, and this is just a slip, and I have a Grim Workshop file tool in there. And so this fits really, really nicely. This was made from some scrap leather from the Everyday Adventure company, Brandon over at Everyday Adventure Co. And so we had talked a while back, we did a local meetup and about the Sageha pattern, and he said he had some blue leather, would like to kind of test it out. And so he made this for me and sent it over. This isn't a product he actually sells, but he does some really cool leather work. And so definitely check him out, but I think the pattern came out great here on that leather, and that blue thread looks really, really good with it. And so this will fit about 2 of those Grim Workshop dog tag tools. So really cool piece of gear from Brandon over at Everyday Adventure Co. And not the last one you'll see, actually. I'm about to pull out another. And so another one, this one was made specifically for the notorious EDC beer bomb. So I have a black one in there. You can see it fits nice and snug, not going to fall out of there, but is also easy to slide out. I do need to add a lanyard on here with a bead, because I think that would just kind of put it over the top, a nice lanyard with a blue bead on there of some sort, but fits really nicely. You can see his cactus logo stamped into the front there, and that same Sageha pattern on the back with Everyday Adventure Co. And so I'll link to his shop, definitely check him out. This pattern isn't available quite yet, but you will see it sometime in the future, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but really, really cool gear from there, and I think this just came out super killer. So super excited about both of these slips. Now that's everything on the left side. I will give dimensions at the end, but let's continue through to the right side. And so on the right hand side, you have 3 more elastic loops, and each of those are about 1.5 inches tall. On the right, I have a CRKT CEO Compact. This is the flipper tab version of the CEO. A little bit smaller, not the smallest version of it though. Really cool little knife that fits the patch super well. And had that in that leftmost pocket. Right next to that, I have my multi-tool. This is the SOG Power Pint, really cool multi-tool. And so flips open super smoothly to expose a small pair of pliers. But the real star of this is the bit driver at the top, and so this does work with the Leatherman bit kit. You just have to make sure to get that orientation right, but once you do, you have a ratcheting bit kit that you can use with that bit set that I had to turn a bunch of different types of bits. And so that's really cool. Love this. Haven't done a full review on it, but haven't had it that long either, so still kind of playing with it, breaking it in and just getting a feel for it, but really loving this so far. Now right next to that, this one's actually a little bit deep in there, so I'm gonna have to push it out a little. There we go. I have the mini Maglite. This is a AAA Maglite twist on. Just super simple, a classic obviously, and had that in that last little pen size slot. And one more item in the back, something to write on. I went with this Micro Notes, and I can't remember, I think these may be discontinued. I'll try and find them on Amazon. If not, I'll link to something similar. But I think these came originally from Pocket Pen, if I'm not mistaken. I have a bunch of them, but I have no idea where they actually came from and haven't seen them in a while. So they may not or may not be available. If they are, I'll put them in the description. So now that we have it nice and empty, you can see this does get pretty flat overall. I had it loaded out almost to capacity. I probably could have slipped a little bit more in there, but pretty close to capacity. Now let's look at the internals. So these back pockets are full width and go all the way down. They're about 4 inches, just a hair over 4 inches, maybe 4 1/8 of an inch tall. They go almost to the edge here, so have a lot of real estate to work with. You have 3 elastic loops. Each of these is 1.5 inches tall, and this first one's about 1.25 inches, second about closer to 1.5 inches, but somewhere in between, and then the third one's about 1 inch wide. And so this bottom pocket is kind of a little catch-all at the bottom, and the left side is divided, the right side is not, so about 2.5 inches by about 1 inch, or 2.5 inches wide on the first one, 1 inch on the second, and then this other one's a full width, so it ends up being about 3.5 inches with those seams. Same height on the elastic loops, and the back pocket's gonna be exactly the same. Inch on the first loop, about 1.5 inches on the second, and about 1 inch on the third loop. And so I'd imagine this one's Yeah, about an inch. So a little bit different than the left loadout, but gives you a nice versatility. I really like the size of this pouch. It has a nice height to it without being too tall, so you can fit some larger items in here. And it also fits really well in a front pocket if there's not other things in that pocket, or a back pocket. And so it's basically the kind of largest size I'd want to put in a pocket, and it works pretty well. If it were any larger, it might have to move to a cargo pocket or a bag backpack type of loadout. So really like the size on this. Excited to see some other colorways. He's done a lot of really great colors over the however long he's been making them. And so definitely excited to see what color comes out after this one. This one's been around for a while. I'd imagine it's gonna go away pretty soon, and we'll get to that next colorway. But definitely check out his patches. I think he just did a knuck as well. So if you're into single finger knucks, they have some of those on the site in stock right now. But definitely check him out. Small business out of Florida. I don't know how much is made in Florida and how much is made elsewhere and just shipped from Florida, but I do know it's a small maker based out of Florida. So check out his Instagram, check out his website. Everything you see will be linked in the description below. And if you're interested in pouches, I've done a lot of pouch videos. It's probably my second most common type of video on the channel, and so I do have a full playlist with probably 40 or so videos of other pouches at this point. So definitely check that out if you're looking for different pouches and maybe this one's not right for you. But I do think really well made. I don't know if I mentioned this one is Cordura, 500D Cordura. I don't know if all of them are, so if it comes out in a different material and you're looking at it, definitely check the description to make sure it's the material that you're looking for. But this one in particular is Cordura. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.